by the New York American Marketing Association as an award ceremony to honor the most effective advertising efforts, right? And this, I'm sure all of you know. The awards now honor all forms of effective marketing and those who create effective work across the globe. Effie Sri Lanka has been recognizing local creativity since 2008, proudly led by the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, of course, today. So the marketing and advertising communities both coming together to present this amazing recognition opportunity for the most effective advertising campaigns that we have seen. So today we're going to be answering a few questions, giving you some insights, and I'd like to take a moment to introduce our panel for you. So today we have with us the President of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, Mr. Lanka, the CMO Lead, Southeast Asia New Markets for Microsoft Sri Lanka Private Limited, the Vice President, Events and Sustainability Projects for Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, Mr. Chintaka Pereira, who's the Director Sales, Hemas Pharmaceuticals Private Limited and Hemas Surgical and Diagnostics Private Limited. We also have our Head of Jury, Mr. Gamika De Silva, the Assistant General Manager and Head of Marketing and Sales at Ceylon Bank, and the Project Chairperson, Ms. Kavi Rajpaksha, the Vice President and Head of Marketing at SoftLogic Life. So a big welcome to all our panelists here today. Lovely to have you. Also, a massive welcome to all of our guests who are joining us, who are watching this. And if you're watching this video later, glad to have you along here with us as well, right? So this year, the 2021 Effie Awards is quite special because it's a bumper year, like all local creative work that has made our brands effective in the marketplace from the 1st of January in 2019 up until March 31st, 2021, will be eligible for this year's award show. So massive bumper Effie Awards coming up just for you. So everybody here today is going to, come in line with trying and answering certain questions and giving you some insights and helping you, put up the best project proposal or the best campaign pitches as possible in order for you to, showcase your talents to the world, right? So here we go. So first up, I have a question from Madam President, Mr. Lanka Bewardhan, and that is, how significant is this event to both the advertising community and the marketing community in Sri Lanka?
Thank you, Fahd. I hope you all can hear me well and clear, loud and clear. Okay, great. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this virtual session. So in these challenging times, we still find ways to connect and, keep the business and keep what we do going. So coming to your question, Fahad, I think as the national body for marketing, which represents, I think, marketing and advertising and communication professionals, Effie had been there for such a long time, helping the community and also recognizing the best effort of this community, which I think I always believe Effie is a property that belongs to marketers and also the communications professionals. It's a joint property. I think we all are nurturing together. So it's very important for all of us to understand, especially in a time like this, because that's why we are having a bumper here, because I don't have to remind last year the kind of challenges that we had, why we are looking at a bumper year. So in a time like this, the challenge the marketers and the communications professionals have at hand, I think you all know the challenge better than me. I mean, I don't have to explain because the market dynamics have changed, the consumer has evolved, and the companies are struggling, the budgets have, the available pot has changed. So with all this, in such a landscape, your creativity has to, an innovative landscape innovative mindset has to continuously, you have to continuously exercise. And, our communications professionals, never stop trying. And I think the work that we see, despite all these challenges, have been amazing. So I think the best way for me to put this forward, because I think the rest of the questions will capture the essence of the program of Effie, but I think best way for me to conclude my answer is Effie is the international platform that the National Body for Marketing is bringing to Sri Lanka so that our country's communications professionals have a platform to really showcase their talent. And we all take pride in the work that our Sri Lankans do. And so that's the platform that we all are talking about. So that's what's starting this year with the bumper year. So this is the first question. I think more details to follow.
Thank you very much indeed, Sri Lanka. Thank you so much, Madam President, for answering that question. So the next question we have is to our Vice President Events at SLIB, Mr. Chintaka Pereira. So obviously, the external situation is not supportive of such festivals at the moment. So the question is, how are you planning on overcoming these challenges that currently exist?
Well, but it is during challenging times that we need to come together and figure out solutions that inspire more great work. The advertising industry has been severely impacted due to these 3 years of back-to-back disasters, starting from the Easter to pandemic era, and the marketing and media budgets have been stripped. Often, pandemic has made shoots and other ground work next to impossible. But it is heartwarming to see how the advertising industry found great solution for this and how their marketing partners stood by them, fighting hard for these ideas. It is in that spirit that we all got together to find solution of this great award show as well. We will be avoiding much risk as possible and therefore will resort whatever means of virtual management if possible. Every step of the way and in discussion with the industry terms, the cost structure has also been brought down to accommodate this special instance that we are facing. We are keen to ensure that this celebration of creativity sees success.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chintaka Pereira. So you touched on that word, spirit, right? And I'd like to channel this next question to our project chairperson, Ms. Kavi Rajapaksa. So what is the spirit of the Effies this year, and what's new? So I understand there are some new things coming up. I'd like to know about a little bit about that.
Yes, Fahad, thank you so much. And first of all, lots of gratitude to all of us, all of the marketeers and the advertising fraternity actually joining. It's 5:42 p.m. on a Wednesday, and still all of us are going at this. So that is actually the spirit that we are all kind of talking about, right? Inspiration, even amidst these times of real adversity, is basically the spirit of all of this. Huge shout out to the advertising industry for really reaching out and talking to us to actually keep the spirit alive, because as the president and as well as the vice president for events touched upon this fact, it has not been easy for marketeers and advertising teams to actually figure out on ground activities. I mean, we had to actually resort to having PCRs being done, locations being bubbled, so that we keep the risk minimal. This has really resulted in so much more cost, but the advertising budgets and marketing budgets have seen a massive decline. But we were really it was very heartwarming to see the amazing work that came out throughout these last 3 years, and it is all of us together that has kind of come together and put that forward. And to be able to really launching this event today to recognize this is an amazing feat, and huge shout out to everybody out there, and especially those who are joining here today. Very importantly, I need to talk about this great committee and the slim team that is actually helping to put together this wonderful thing. I mean, it might be virtual, it might be deemed impossible right now to really look at a festival of this nature, of this stature, but everybody is making it possible. And the committee, which everybody will see today, is being announced, and everybody has come from, be it advertising, be it marketing. Despite their very heavy work schedules, people have actually come forward to join hands, right? So the spirit of this, the inspiration that shines through adversity is what is going to keep Effies alive this year. In terms of what's new, so Effie's this year is, like you said, a bumper year. The eligibility period is going to start off from the 1st of January 2019 and will extend all the way up to 31st of March 2021, right? I'm sure the head of jury will touch upon these categories in much more detail, but I will be amiss in my duty if I don't mention some of the new things that has been happening. because areas such as delivery services, education and training has seen a massive shift in terms of their business models. This year, especially those categories have been actually added to the industry list. And also, we've seen the massive shift of especially spends in terms of media that has been taken away from traditional media and put forward to social media. So again, we will be amiss in terms of our duty if ideas that are born for social media alone are not recognized at Effie's, and therefore for the first time, the digital media part where the social media category has been actually added on to this year's entry kit. And also you will see things like COVID response, critical pivot kind of categories that are also coming in to recognize how advertising and marketing communities have got together and really responded to this great challenge. So I'm sure Gamika will touch upon this further, but adversity has not driven away the inspiration that we all carry, and that is what's going to carry Effie through this year.
Amazing. What a wonderful sentiment, right? Like adversity hasn't driven away the inspiration. And on that note, we'd like to go talk a little bit to our head of jury, Mr. Garmikan Silva. So, a lot of responsibility, obviously. Good, bad, happy, sad, probably everything ends up there. So, Garmika, I would like to know, is there a special criteria for judging being taken into consideration due to the current circumstances? Also, what measures are being taken to ensure that the best work is obviously crowned?
Thank you, Fahad, for that introduction. And, I'm first of all, I must thank Slim and the organizing committee for entrusting me with the duties of being the head of jury. Very excited. Last year, too, we had a launch like this. Unfortunately, the circumstances are not in our favor, so we couldn't continue with Effie. So I think, that's the background that we are going in for a bumper year. And also, I think the times are such that, the Vice President and the project chair also spoke about, this is a time that we search for inspiration and, inspiration within the good work that is being done by the industry and the clients. So going into the question that Fahad asked, what is so special and what do we look at in this particular year? Of course, this is a bumper year. As you know, that we are looking at work from 2019 Jan to 2021 March. So I'm expecting that a lot of work will be submitted despite the challenges there were. I mean, I personally have seen a lot of good work being done in different industries, and to encourage such changes in the industry, because the paradigm has changed, the dynamics are very different. So Effie Global has also proposed certain new categories, which we as a team has gone through in detail, and have resolved into taking in new categories which are applicable for Sri Lanka, which Sri Lanka is ready, and which can accommodate some of those industries who have done well, and some of those good work have given a platform for them to come and showcase their results. A couple of challenges we have this year is, of course, the number of entries, which I'm like looking at. I'll talk about my jury a little later. But I mean, we are geared to evaluate, give due time, and give due resources and effort behind judging the good work. Secondly, the results per se. I mean, there can be a lot of impact with regard to market conditions, natural change of demand. I mean, I'm not going to specify on industries. Some of the industries, despite challenges, have certainly risen up to the challenge and delivered results. It may be due to a fact of communication effectiveness, or it may be due to consumer behavior changes or circumstances as such. Our job here as the jury and my panel is to judge the effectiveness of communication. So that is, my dear friends, that is what we are going after, and that is what we are really looking at. Just to elaborate on that fact, that we will be looking at the context very crucially. I mean, as all of you all know, frequent campaigners, I mean seasoned campaigners, we look at the challenge context and the objective, that is about 23% of the marks, and insights and the big idea is about 23%. And bringing the idea to life is another 23%, and 30% on the results. What we will look at is, I mean, me being very passionate about brand marketing, the question I will ask is, what is that problem that you're going to resolve? How has it been resolved through communication? This is the fundamental finding that my jury is going to unearth out of your application, your entry kit. I mean, your story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end very well connected, nicely articulated. As I mentioned previously also during my trainings and the workshops as well, the jury will be trained and given adequate tools and guidance to unearth and connect those stories together. I mean, you need to be able to elaborate and showcase us your result is you had a strategic problem. The problem has to be strategic, and there has to be a insight which was driven to your communication effort, and this communication effort has delivered this result, and the result has to be what you said that you're going to judge, and it has to be connected to your context. And this connectivity is the one which is very, very crucial. I mean, sometimes I have been a participant of Effies. When you start writing your intricate, you get carried away with some certain results. So do not do that. That's my advice. Probably at the workshop we will talk about this little in more detail. Just to cut short my answer, we will be looking at the consistency of your case. I mean, you have to make a compelling case for jury to believe in it. And I have a hand-picked jury. I'm waiting for the final results of putting up the balance team from the agency front of it. I'm sure that a lot of expertise are going to come in from there. This is a set of team that we have a lot of trust on, who will identify cooked up results and real results out of communication. So rest assured that the best work will be judged. And I'm of the view that the inspiration needs to be given back to the industry. Good work has to be judged. I believe the good work will have a good platform to showcase their the compatibility, and the good work will be judged, and there'll be adequate awards given this year to encourage the industry and inspire drive inspiration within us. Thank you.
Amazing, Garmika. Thank you very much. Of course, an amazing jury awaits you guys, as you heard. We're waiting to see the final results that they come out with, of course, looking forward to it. So now, as we know, a meeting of the advertising and marketing industries, and we'd like to ask this question from Madam President of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. How significant is this event for Slim Sri Lanka?
Yes, so Fahad, so I'll start from there, but I'll take a few steps further because I think I pretty much covered about the importance of Effie in my first question. So I think if you were like listening to the project chair and also the head of the jury, I think there was a very powerful word that comes out, that is inspiration. I think we cannot really let the pandemic, pandemic is really, wherever you look, there's so many challenges around us, but I think we can't let the inspiration to, lose sight or, let go of that. So Effie Awards is one of the 4 main platforms that Slim has created. So Effie is the advertising fraternities platform. I always believe, I think even earlier I have mentioned, though we bring this forward, though we manage and put this platform forward, I don't believe it's owned by us. It's actually yours. It belongs to the fraternity. It belongs to the advertising fraternity who is already here in this meeting. So because as the national body for marketing, we can, coordinate and, work on the franchise and, project check and, plan everything and put this platform together. But for this to succeed, for this to inspire advertisers, for this to bring best world-class work for the country, this platform has to be yours because it belongs to the advertising fraternity. That's why I think we have this year, I think Project Chair also has done a lot of work with the blessings of the head of jury as well. Even with the vice president, to work very closely with the industry bodies so that we truly understand how we can, improve and get the feedback. Because the last time that we had Effie was 2 years back, we tried to do the same thing, but then we had a gap. But I think we're really trying to catch up to it and try and create Effie Awards Sri Lanka as a platform like that. So we as the national body for marketing, for nearly 51 years, we have been inspiring marketers, inspiring young marketers, entrepreneurs, advertising professionals. So all of our other platforms, the NASCO for sales, and then brand excellence for brand marketers, and then research. So like that, we only had 4 few years back, but now we have 6 key platforms starting from this year. We will also have one for SMEs, and there is Digi. So you can see in a time like this, I believe these awards, they are not just awards. these are actually helping the industry to raise the bar higher every year, so that it's actually giving you a platform that actually you have a place to put forward your work. So I think in this case, Slim is like the, in Sinhala, if I say, it's like the Mahagedara of all of these things. So I think, but I truly believe these platforms don't belong to us. It belongs to the community. It belongs to the respective fraternity. So very excited about Effie this time, because it's a bumper year, as we all have been discussing. So very important, and especially with all these challenges, how we can really produce world-class work. So looking forward to see the work coming out in this Effie platform this time.
Amazing, Madam President. Thank you very much for that answer. This next question is to Mr. Chintaka Pereira, the Vice President Events of SLIM. So will an online event take away from the glamour of this award ceremony, right? So what's to be done to assure the quality of the FE's 2021 award show? Because online versus physical, there's a certain perception that the glamour might be taken away. So I'd like to know, Mr. Chintaka Pereira, what would be done to, maintain the quality? I think, Sinki, you're on mute.
Yes, Fahd, it is the first time an online event is being done for Effies in Sri Lanka, but it is not the global arena. And there are many top tier awards festival being done online right now. What is important is that we keep going forward, finding the best way to celebrate great ideas. To Sri Lanka has produced various topics in the face of adversity. Effie global team is working very closely with this and sharing best practice, and we have every intention to match the glamour in every way possible. The Effie 2021 entry kit has now been uploaded to the official website. You can access it from there or simply access the website through the link in our social media handle. Thank you.
That's right, guys. Just like Mr. Chintaka Pereira mentioned, on the official website, fe.lk, the entry kit is there. You can access it in addition to all the social media handles on LinkedIn, Facebook, and any other social media handles that you can think of that we're on. Please, by all means, go there and access the website and get access to the entry kit. So I want to get into a little bit of detail, and this question is to the head of jury. So as the esteemed head of jury, can you give us a quick build-up on what the project chair mentioned in terms of what remains, what's new, what should be considered in entering the FEs this year? Garmika, that question to you, please.
Sorry, Fahd, there was a question I was trying to.
Yeah. So I'm just going to repeat this to you. Because I know that I think someone asked a question and Garmika was going above and beyond responding to that offline. Thank you very much for that. So just the question is like, can you give us a quick build up as the project chair mentioned in terms of what remains, what's new and what should be considered?
Okay, so as I mentioned previously, just a introduction, we have looked at a couple of new categories, especially on the considering the context of it. Delivery, I mean, that's an industry that suddenly bloomed over the last 24 months. Education and training to be on the industry categories, but very special emphasis I wanted to give you on the special categories that have been introduced, and I'll touch upon some of those salient features of those categories, although the categories have been in detail explained in the definition what qualifies for those categories. One interesting area is social media. I mean, there's a fine line between what DGs are judging and what FEs will judge. I remember about a couple of years ago, about 5 years back, in one of the FE global discussions, also social media had been discussed. How do we judge social media from a advertising effectiveness? I mean, here, very specially, the campaigns which are carried out on social media platforms are being judged. And by all means, what we don't look at is, don't come and tell us, these are the number of impressions, the engagement, etc. But it has to be effective in terms of business results. How do we portray that? How do you build up your case to be, one is why is social media used as a strategic communication tool, and what is being set as an objective, and what have you done out of it, and what is the impact on your strategic problem that you mentioned about. And that has to be very very clearly articulated and shown results to relate it to your context. And secondly is the e-commerce. This is pure e-commerce, not brick and mortar operations, complete e-commerce operation end to end. How does communication campaigns have supported to build up e-commerce platforms and deliver results out of that? Thirdly, the single retailer. I mean, if you look at how some of those retailers, like even the supermarket channels, FMCG channels, or consumer durable channels, moving into single retailer communication platforms, and emphasis have been given during the last 12 to 18 months. How does that type of communication campaigns have brought in results to clients and the industry? And also a particular category that we have also looked at about youth marketing, the teens and the young adults. Uh, segment specific marketing campaigns and communication campaigns which have been considered on this category, and the rest of the parameters will remain same. And another interesting one which we are bringing in is influencer marketing. And I know this is a much talked about word, very different opinions in the market as well. What I must mention is influencer marketing categories. It's not about getting so many likes and so many views about your video or the content piece that you have built in, but it's about how does an influencer have brought in positive change in terms of behavior. How has that been affected in terms of your business results coming in? And this has to be comprehensively showcased, and the strategic connection between this particular influencer and the content piece has to be emphasized in that way, not just because of, again, as I mentioned in the social media category also, it's not about the views and the reach that you have made out of these campaigns. And this can be social media led, or even all the entire 360 that you can look at in terms of the campaigns. And also on the media category, we do have media ideas we have been rewarding previous years also. Now this year, one of the things we have brought in, because I think it's a new, it's not really new, but there are many brands in Sri Lanka also using this data driven marketing. I mean, we have spoken about programmatic media buying, data centric marketing, understanding consumer patterns, behavioral, as well as customized communication, mass customized communication being done through data centric marketing and performance driven marketing. And these are the entries that have been judged on the media data driven category. Of course, market disruptors is another category we have brought in. Those campaigns, those industries who have changed the rules of the game, who have completely disrupted marketing category and brought in campaigns to completely challenge the ongoing norms, and brought in their own rules to change the market. That is also another category we are judging in. And very importantly, crisis response. All of us, as advertising industry marketers, have gone through crisis during the last 24 months, starting from the Easter attack to Corona hit last so many months. So how does this crisis response? It can be internal marketing campaigns, it can be external campaigns. How does these campaigns, how are, again, I'm underlining, how is this strategic? It's not just a motivational campaign. How is it strategic, and how has this been brought into results? That is what we are looking at. And of course, I must touch upon the sustained success, because we are looking at 2019 to 2021. Only on the sustained success category, you can apply campaigns which are starting from 2016, January 1st, up to 31st March 2021. So I think, if I go on to talk about this, I need about an hour to talk about the categories and the definitions of it. The definitions are there. We will meet most of you all at the workshop, and please do reach us for any definition requirement. Those communications will be sent by Slim, as well as me personally. I can also address it. And the question that Adil have raised, I'll just answer if you permit me. Do we judge 2019 separately on 2020 separately? No, we are looking at a bumper year. We're looking at all the entries together. So we have brought in certain parameters given by inspiration or the guidance given by Global Effie, and I'm also consulting some of those research specialists and industry specialists in my jury to normalize results. We will not have undue advantage to a particular industry or a particular campaign due to a spike in results. So we will look at in that way. And of course, Effie are given Effie's guidelines in marking has given very, I mean, we are going in the Olympic system, we eliminate the highest marks and the lowest marks and average it. And this year I have ensured that we have adequate number of judges, even the recusals are coming in. If there are instance, there are 3 to 4 judges has to recuse based on conflict of interest, we will have at least about 10 to 11 judges judging an entry, so that your entry will be given due recognition and proper judgment is being given. We have picked industry specific industry specialists with a lot of experience, and this year I have discussed with Kavi in detail. We have had a lot of debates, a lot of long discussions in picking right people to the jury who have had experience in running kick-ass campaigns, if I may use those words, who have done that, justice to doing campaigns, so that they understand the size of insights, the campaign, and not merely running by results. And the specifics that we have given to our advertising specialist also, to nominate people who are having that type of strategic experience in terms of judging campaigns. I'm sure there's a power pack jury on both level round 1 and round 2. Whether they are round 1 or round 2, they are equally competent. Equal level of judgment and emphasis will be given to entries. The only difference will be the round 2, there will be a discussion, not at the round 1. That's the only difference, but the emphasis given on each entry will be at that level of intensity that we are looking at. And also I must add the screening level. This year we are not just screening entries to see whether they are eligible. Screening will also give us the proper entries coming into round 1. This does not mean that your entries will be rejected at screening, but if there are any loopholes or shortfalls, we will get back to the agency or the client and get that correction done and make sure that your entry goes into round 1 judging. So I think I took a little bit extra time. I hope I answered the question, Fahad, and all my friends from the industry.
Absolutely, Gamika, no problem. As much time as you need, as much detail as possible is greatly appreciated by everyone. Okay, so this question is to our project chairperson, Ms. Kavi Rajapaksa. So I think Gamika touched upon this a little bit as well. So the challenges of bumper, is it greater, especially considering the current circumstances? And I'd like to know, like, what's being done to overcome them.
Yes, Fahad, I think Gamik actually did a lot of justice in terms of bringing to light most of the challenges that we have been facing. So bumper year means it can mean a lot of entries. I mean, given the circumstances, it can be, things can go 50-50, and we are all looking at, like, really getting as many entries as possible, because we need to find gold amongst a lot of inspiration, and that is what we've been driving forward, right? But a bumper year also means more hours of judging, more hours of sorting through. And from an agency point of view, they will have 2 years worth of power packed work, which they will have to definitely look to see if I mean, versus a normal year, you're being you're actually comparing year 1 versus year 2 entries to see what can we put forward, because those entries will definitely compete amongst themselves, right? So like Gamika mentioned, I'm sure our industry friends and the marketing fraternity will have lots of questions in terms of different aspects of the intricate, how to basically approach these different entries and all of that, for which next week Gamika will specifically host with the Slim team a proper breakdown end to end of the intricate, for which I would formally like to invite all of you who are gathered here, because we are sure, because a bumper year has been a point of discussion for the last few months, where we've ourselves have been trying to get as much information as possible in order to do it justice. And for that challenge has actually been more or less overcome by the support of the advertising fraternity, who has always reached out to us and pointed out the different issues that may arise, that we have together kind of solved to get to this point of the launch, which I again keep on reminding, because if not for those really good in-depth discussions that we had, a bumper year could have not been possible, especially because of the situation at hand. Having said that, I need to touch upon this very important fact, right? See, when you talked about the launch, Fahad, you at first asked me what the spirit is, and we said it is that spirit of inspiration that basically drives us through adversity. I think what I need to really drive home is this little thing that I always say. Sri Lanka, yes, can compete on so many levels, but none takes the cup as the creative sphere does, because we don't need a lot of things to really compete with, because we have the people that can really just catch gold out of nothing, and that spirit, even amid so much adversity, in this little pearl still is persistent, and that is one thing that can really take the Sri Lankan flag flying high in the global arena. And Effie is an amazing stepping stone to take Sri Lanka global. So when we've spoken to the advertising fraternity and the marketing fraternity, that spirit is very big this time, because we found that inspiration by creating amazing work, and now it's time to really celebrate those, because yes, there are entries that will walk away with gold, silver, finalist, or nothing, but all of us having this platform to really come and compare our work and be inspired in it on its own is a great win. And I would like to conclude by thanking the committee, the Slim team, the jury, VP events, and especially the president, and the industry support that we have received to really make this a success, because if not for that, we will not see this launch. And I think that is as best as a message to kind of conclude today with. So warm invitation to all of you to please reach out, like Gamika said, for any clarifications. Next week, we will have a proper end-to-end breakdown of the entry. And on anything to do with any issues that you have, any questions you have, please do put on the messaging platform, even on Facebook, even on YouTube, wherever the video is. We will get back to you within the day. And you can always reach out to us personally. And there's also Ryan's number that is basically on all of the material that you can basically push your questions through. So all the very best. May the best of us win. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Wow, inspirational indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Project Chairperson Ms. Kavi Rajapaksa pushing everyone to action, to get your campaigns in. So I think a lot of questions have been coming in. I think Gamika has been doing a great job answering those questions directly. So like was mentioned, the workshop will be happening, and that will be a space to clarify all these doubts. A big clarification on where you need to be. So Effie.lk, that's where you can download the entry kit. For those of you who are, for the rare few of you who are aware of the spellings, it's EFFIE.lk, just in case. Also the deadlines, on-time deadline, the 8th of September 2021. The extended deadline is the 2nd of September 2021. And our final deadline is the 6th of October 2021, right? So with all of those things mentioned, I'd like to say a big thank you to our panelists here today, the president of SLIM, Mr. Lanka, the vice president, events and sustainability project, Mr. Chintaka Pereira, the head of jury, Mr. Gamika De Silva, and the project chairperson, Ms. Kavi Rajapaksa. Thank you very much to all of you who have joined this call as well, and to all of you who's going to be watching this later. Thank you very much indeed. Like Kavi mentioned, any questions that you might have, feel free to channel it at any of those platforms. Reach out directly as well, and we'll do our best to try and get back to you. This has been the Effie Sri Lanka 2021 launch bumper year for everybody, hoping to see the best of the advertising and marketing communities come together and create an outstanding outcome indeed. That's it from us. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.